Shalom. For centuries, our people have been lied to. We've been told that the most important people in this book were white people. But I can prove it to you with the scriptures that the most important people in the Bible were people of color. And that's what I'm going to do right now. Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground. What color is the dust of the ground? Brown. So what color was Adam and Eve? They were brown too. This is the book of Genesis chapter 42 verse 7. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly to them. And he said unto them, Where come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan, to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. Why did his brothers recognize him? Because Joseph looked like the Egyptians. What color are the Egyptians? They're black. Let's go to the next one. Now we know the story of Moses, how he delivered the Israelites out of the hand of the Egyptians. Well, this is Exodus chapter 2, verse 19. And they said, An Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds. So the Israelites got Moses confused with the Egyptian. Okay, so what color are the Egyptians then? Black. Let's go to the next one. So God was going to perform a miracle on Moses. So here's the miracle. This is Exodus chapter 4, verse 6. And the Lord said furthermore unto him, Put now thy hand into thy bosom. And he put his hand into his bosom and took it out. And his hand was leprous as snow. So God told Moses to put your hand inside your shirt. He put his hand in his shirt, then took it out, and then his hand was white. If his hand was already white, then how could God turn his hand white? Exactly, he can't. Because his hand was not already white, his hand was brown. Because Moses was a man of color. Now they weren't the only ones to be confused to be Egyptians, which are Africans. Now we're gonna go to Paul. Acts chapter 21 verse 37. And as Paul was led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain. Okay, so Moses went to into a castle to speak with the chief captain of the Roman Empire. Okay, may I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek? So the Roman saying, How can you speak Greek? Verse 38. Art not thou that Egyptian? So he said, How can you speak Greek? Aren't you an Egyptian? A Roman mistake Paul as an Egyptian. Now, again, what color are the Egyptians? Black. They're Africans. They're black. So Paul got mistaken to be Egyptian because he's black. And guess what Paul did? He wrote 13 books of the Bible. 13. So a black man wrote 13 books of the Bible. To tell you the truth, a black man wrote every book of the Bible. But just now you know Paul was black. But we're gonna get into more people. Now we're gonna go to Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. I'm gonna start at verse 1 so we know who's speaking. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon. So King Solomon said this. Verse 5. I am black but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem. King Solomon said, I'm black but handsome. Okay? That's where black and beautiful came from, the Bible. Okay? But they don't teach it in church. King Solomon, the wisest man who ever set foot on this planet Earth, who wrote Proverbs, Ecclesiasticus, and Wisdom of Solomon. Guess what? Guess what he is? He's black. Now we're gonna stay in Song of Solomon. Now we're gonna go to chapter 5, verse 10, because they use this verse to say that he's white, but it was actually one of the very few mistranslations in the King James Bible. Verse 10. My beloved is white and ruddy. So his companion is speaking here. His girl is speaking here. He's saying, my beloved is white and ruddy, okay? So that's actually a mistranslation, because in the original Hebrew text in this area, it actually said tazak. It said tazak, which means dazzling. White in Hebrew is Laban. It didn't say Laban though, it said tazak. So it should have said, my beloved is dazzling and ruddy. And ruddy is not just in white people. Ruddy can be, anybody can be ruddy. Ruddy just means a healthy complexion, okay? a healthy reddish complexion. Red. What color is rust, for instance? It's brownish red. It's ruddy. Okay. So they use that to say, oh, he's white. But let's go to verse 11. Okay. His head is as the most fine gold, and his locks are bushy and black as a raven. There's no such. I never seen no white man with bushy black dreadlocks. Cause this is how you know King Solomon was a black man, the smartest man who ever set a foot on this planet Earth, who wrote several books in the Bible. It's black. Now let's see what the Jews look like. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourneth. Who is Judah? Judah is the Jews, okay? And their gates, they're of language. Their leaders, they're weak. They can't do anything. They're languishing. They are black unto the ground. It said the leaders are black unto the ground. What color is the ground? Different shades of brown. That's what color the Jews are. So Jeremiah, he wrote some books. Let's see what he looks like. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 8, verse 21. For the hurt of the daughter of my people, I am hurt. I am black. Astonishment have taken hold on me. Okay, that's self-explanatory. Now let's go to another verse. This is Job 30 and 30. My skin is black upon me. That's also self-explanatory. Let's go to another verse. This is a prophecy of Jesus Christ, okay? The book of Daniel, chapter 10, verse 5. I lifted up mine eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man was clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with the fine gold of Uphaz. So he had a gold girdle, and okay. His body was like beryl. He had a green garment on. Beryl means green. And his face had the appearance of lightning. He had angelic features. And his eyes were like lamps of fire. He had red eyes from drinking wine on moderation. And his arms and his feet was like into color of polished brass. Color of polished brass, which is brown, okay? And the voice of his words like the sound of a multitude. Very loud voice. Now let's see the face-to-face image of Christ. The book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 14. His head and his hairs. Oh, first of all, let's see who he's talking about. I'm going to jump up to chapter 1, verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ, which God gave unto him to show unto his servants things which will surely come to pass. Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white as wool. So he had white woolly hair. If you look up woolly hair on your phone, you're going to see nothing but Negroes. Woolly is the texture of our hair, black people's hair, which means tight curls, or in other words, nappy. And is as white as snow. And his eyes were as a flaming fire, because they was red. And his feet, now he's looking up, down at his feet, okay? Because he already described his head. He had long sleeves and all the way down to his foot. Well, let me get that. Verse 13. In the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks, I saw one as the Son of Man clothed with a garment down to the foot, and a girt about the paps with a golden girdle. Now let's get verse 15. And his feet like unto fine brass, because now he's describing his feet. Brass is brown. How brown though? As if they burned in a furnace. As if they burned in a furnace. Brass by itself is the color of a penny. If you take a penny and burn it, then what color it's going to turn? It's going to turn black. If you burn anything, it's going to turn black. If you burn white rice, it's going to turn black. Okay? And his voice is the sound of many waters. He had a strong, loud, and deep voice. Okay? Let's get another one. The book of Lamentations, chapter 4, verse 8. Their visage, which means face, is blacker than a coal. It says their face is blacker than coal. That's also, man, that's self-explanatory. A white man's skin, it's impossible for a white man to turn black. It's impossible, okay? So let's go to another verse. The only way a white man can get black is by burning himself. And that's what they try to do all the time, just to look like us. Lamentations chapter 5, verse 10. Our skin was black like an oven because of the terrible famine. When a white man goes in a famine, will he turn black? No, you can tell this is pertaining to us. In West Africa, in the 1900s, when There was a real bad famine over there. Them people was black, super black, because your skin actually turns, it starts to get it from a ruddy color to just a nasty black decaying color when you don't get enough nutrients. And that's science. Now let's see what the Most High God of heavens and earth looks like. Because that's what we really need to know. Is he a cloud or what? The Most High God. Let's see what he look like. The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down. What does it mean when he said the thrones were cast down? The kingdoms of the earth, when they were cast down, the very last days, okay? And the Ancient of Days, who is the Ancient of Days? The Most High, because he has no beginning, nor does he have an end, took his seat, whose garment was white as snow. His garment was white as snow. So he had a garment, therefore he had a body, okay? And his hair of his head like the pure wool. I'm going to read that part again. And the hair of his head like the pure wool. He had woolly hair. The only race on earth who has woolly hair is the Negroes. Okay? So guess what God is? God is a black man. The Most High God is a black man. So, I just told y'all the truth. Whether you like it or not. Shalom.